Hello everybody, I hope you're having a great weekend and Valentine's Day. So I was going to upload this one yesterday, but since it's a Valentine's Day story and today's Valentine's Day, I figured I'd wait till today, it's more fitting. But before the video begins, I just wanted to remind you all that you can listen to these stories on Spotify, iTunes, things like that. And I know not everyone uses TikTok or other social media places to watch videos like this, but I've also started uploading on places like there too. Like on TikTok, you can upload up to 60-minute videos now. So my stories that are under 60 minutes, I'm going to upload on the Dark Soul Name TikTok channel also. But they'll still, of course, be here, so you don't have to go there to watch them. It's just if you use that, you can listen to them there too. And I have a big project coming up with a few people. We have, so far, people who are working on the lines for me. We got Mr. Creepypasta, Let's Read, CZ's World, Vidith, Dusklight Radio, We Try Horror, and yeah, it's a really big project. I'm excited for it. It's one I've been working on for a while. So I'm hoping to have that one out around next week once I get everybody's lines together. And yeah, I'll be in the comments like I normally am. I hope you enjoy the video.
Well, good evening there, folks. It's good to see you again. How would you like to join me for another adventure as a fly on the wall? This time we'll be visiting Saffron, Florida, where the heat is deadly and, well, so is everything else. We're going a bit off-grid for this one, all the way to 716 Newport Road, but don't worry, it's well worth the trip. Ah, over there, just over that hill, just that last clearing on the left. No, way in the back. Yep, that's the one. These folks love their space. You won't see houses built on top of one another out here. And don't mind those gators or pythons. It's the frogs and the lizards we have to worry about. Just don't land until we're inside, and everything will be fine. Ah, here we are at last. And what perfect timing. Hurry, let's squeeze in while the door's open. Oh, just made it. Now, as I was saying, this is the home of our new friend, Roman Garcia. At least that's the surname he's currently using. Aside from being 6 feet tall with dark hair, rich, brown eyes, and beautifully bronzed skin, he's also charming, intelligent, and fluent in 4 languages. In other words, he's a catch by almost any standards, especially when you factor in wealth. This property may seem like your typical middle-class home, but most young men would need a few roommates while Mr. Garcia lives alone. Paired with the rather expensive taste we see displayed inside, you might assume that he belongs to the classification of trust fund baby, but you would be wrong. Though he is only 25, he has lived more than most of your kind do in 5. You see, he had a very unusual childhood. And to understand who he is today, you must first understand his origins. Therefore, our story must begin with his mother, Maria Cruz. Maria's family came to the United States in 1975. She was only 2, and though poor, they were very happy. She went on to become the oldest of 7 and played a large role in raising her siblings until eventually marrying her first husband at 18. Unfortunately, Marcus Johnson was a man with 2 faces, and the violence began while awaiting their first child. Each fight escalated a little further until finally, at 7 months, Maria was beaten so severely that the doctors were forced to deliver the baby, Selena, prematurely. Roman will never know of his daughter's existence, but she is important nonetheless. Before Selena's birth, Maria was determined to stay in her marriage. She and Marcus had been together since they were 15, and she truly believed that the recent events were the result of excessive stress. Besides, what kind of person leaves their partner at the first sign of trouble, especially when Marcus was breaking down into a sobbing mess after every fight? How could she even think of abandoning him when the guilt was eating him alive? And now she was planning to take his daughter as well. As it turns out, yes, that's exactly what she needed to do. She just couldn't see it until a fragile newborn was nestled into her arms, far more delicate than any book could have prepared her for. What would happen if Marcus lost his temper while she was holding little Selena, or if the baby's crying kept him awake? It would take only a second, one solitary lapse in control, for a flash of anger to destroy their lives. Maria couldn't let that be her story. Her injuries told the medical staff exactly what happened, and Mr. Johnson was placed under arrest. But he would soon be released on bail. With no time to waste, she returned to her parents' house, but Marcus remained a fixture in her life. With the assault being his first offense, very little time was spent behind bars, and once free, he began doing anger management 3 times a week. He also hadn't touched a drop of alcohol since the day Selena was born.
A side note, Look, I know what you're thinking, friend, but try to let it go. We could spend all day arguing over whether or not people can change and what it would mean if they could, but our story isn't about Marcus. It's really not even about Maria. So just accept this part for what it is and prepare yourself for the main event. As I was saying, whether or not you agree with it, Maria allowed Marcus to attend their daughter's first birthday party. Things went well, and little by little, Selena spent more time with her father. But Maria showed no interest in rekindling their romance. Then, a few months before her 22nd birthday, she met Trevor. Trevor recently relocated to open a new office, and he won Maria over the moment they met. The same was true for Selena and the rest of their family. It will come as no surprise to learn Marcus was the only one to take issue with the new man in her life. In fact, glimpses of his old temper soon resurfaced, and he drank for the first time in 3 years. It was only 6 weeks later that Maria vanished, and Marcus became the prime suspect, despite all the evidence being purely circumstantial. With no solid alibi for the time of her disappearance, he was branded guilty by default and became the most hated man in town. As far as the community was concerned, he killed his ex-wife, and it was only a matter of time before they discovered her body. Every effort was made to bargain for its location, but Marcus maintained his innocence to the bitter end. Being that it is particularly difficult to prosecute a murder without a body, he was ultimately acquitted and forced to start over in a new city, while Selena was raised by her grandparents. Meanwhile, no one noticed that Trevor's company had closed down, or that he himself relocated without so much as a forwarding address. That's the thing about this generation of sex traffickers. Most people don't think some stranger is going to abduct them from a parking lot, but more often than not, it's the new friend or partner that's going to get you. As the months passed, the family became divided between those who believed Maria was still alive and those who feared the worst, but eventually, they all fell into this latter category. No one could have guessed the truth. Originally, she was smuggled onto a boat and taken to Europe. From there, she was transported to a new location every few weeks, and thanks to copious quantities of drugs, she didn't even realize she left the United States until her second month of captivity. At first, it took 2 men to hold her down, while a third put a needle into her arm, but it wasn't long before she began asking for it. The first few weeks were by far the most difficult. She didn't know how many men were coming into her room each day, only that it was more than a dozen. Some preferred when she cried, while others grew annoyed. When that happened, a guard would bring her a fresh line of powder, and she would either perform her duties or be beaten unconscious. During her many years of imprisonment, she tried to escape only once, and her punishment was so severe that she wasn't expected to survive. From that day on, she played by the rules. Her body and spirit were equally broken. Each night she prayed for an overdose, but each morning she woke to a new day. The years passed in a drug-induced blur, and Maria was quite literally a shell of her former self. Her mind was so strung out that she could barely speak coherent sentences or do little more than follow basic instructions. And then she became pregnant. She was taken to a warehouse that had been converted into a field hospital, where all of the patients were expecting mothers. Like them, she was weaned off of the drugs, given prenatal vitamins, and put on a healthy diet. This is the other half of the business. When the women stop being young and desirable, they are taken off contraceptives and bred like animals. Most of the babies are then sold to the highest bidder. Sometimes it's to a couple who are unable to adopt through conventional means. Other times it's to sick, depraved individuals or organ farms. But some of the babies are kept. Of those, a majority are cycled back into the business as assets, while a select few males are raised as members of the family. A large part of the organization's success is due to their strict family-only policy. Being born into it is the only way to join, no exceptions. To tell you their name would be to put you in danger, and that, my friend, is something I will not do. But needless to say, the boy Maria carried became one of these sons, and they named him Roman. A year later, she had another boy, followed by a little girl a year after that, and it was while giving birth to her 4th child that she passed away. Her body and soul simply could not take it anymore. But Roman will never know any of this, and it wouldn't have made a difference if he did. Roman. The family consists of such diversity that each child is raised with multiple languages. Roman was fluent in 5 before his 5th birthday. His adopted father is the 7th grandson of the family's current matriarch and the son of an Englishman. His adopted mother is of Spanish and Russian heritage, which is why he was matched with their household.
because his birth mother was also of Spanish descent.
The entire point of the system is to ensure no child grows up casting doubts on their place within the family. From what I've heard, adolescence is a difficult, often painful time in a human's life cycle. Many adopted children feel as if they do not truly belong or develop fears that their home is conditional. These are the types of emotions that the family wishes to avoid. It is vital for every child to feel the same level of unity and loyalty as those who genuinely share DNA. But that doesn't mean no precautions are taken. An adopted child will never be the family head, for instance. You never know what the future will bring. Well, unless you're me. And who knows how someone may react to learning they were kidnapped because their adopted family allowed their biological father to assault their sex slave mothers. I imagine that would be a difficult thing to hear at that age.
Like all the members of the family, Roman attended the very best schools and eventually graduated first in his class. From early on, it was clear that he possessed attractive features with an abundance of charisma and, above all, happened to be a die-hard romantic. He would often pick flowers for his sister's friends, and everyone knew he would be a little heartbreaker. He excelled in athletics and his academics as well. The boy did it all. During those years, he had many brief relationships, but none of them ever blossomed into anything serious. It seemed like each time he introduced a girl to his family, they lost interest soon after. That he never considered it could be intimidating to others. If not for his family's brutal reputation, who knows what may have happened.
Oh, they weren't frightened for the reasons you're thinking. No one knows about the sex trafficking. Well, the public knows something is fishy, but most people assume it's drug-related. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of that going on too. But it's the ultimate wealth and influence they find most terrifying. Money is power. It can find someone as easily as make them disappear. And the only defense against it is even more money. A commodity that few possess.
In order to funnel their fortune through legitimate channels, the family opened a series of small businesses that grew into their current empire. Today, they own several major corporations, factories, hotels, luxury, high-rise apartments, and so much more, and each one is run by a member of the family. Now, that is not to say that the family members only work in their own businesses. No, indeed. They also work as lawyers, doctors, politicians. They are in law enforcement, the military, the government institutions. Their research extends beyond country borders and all over the world. Roman would have undoubtedly excelled in any of these positions, but his charm made him exceptionally ideal for politics, spotting or grooming, and unfortunately, politics was out of the question. Though great care is taken to conceal one's adopted status, keeping them out of the most influential positions is seen as a necessary precaution. This left spotting and grooming, which are vital to the organization's continued growth and success. Spotting is for the young and self-explanatory. But imagine a young man greets a young lady at the airport or at a party and begins chatting her up. His job is to learn her address and living situation in order to determine if she would make a good target. If so, he reports that information to the actual kidnappers, and that, my friend, is just one example. When spotters grow too old for their position, they graduate to groomers. Often takes more finesse to con adults. Groomers must assume full identities with backgrounds versus a quick name and phone number. They cultivate relationships, usually romantic but not always, in order to lure their targets into vulnerable situations. A tragically high percentage of victims, and make no mistake, men are taken as well, die in captivity, but even those lucky enough to escape still lose part of themselves. Roman began his spotting career at the age of 15 and saw no reason to feel guilty. That's how thoroughly the family had perfected the art of brainwashing from birth. They are taught to see their work as inevitable, a natural part of the life cycle, and if they didn't do it, someone else would. In their eyes, it was no different than the lion eating the gazelle or the farmer killing the cow. Roman faithfully traveled to the big cities with a small contingent of his brothers and cousins for months at a time. One after another, beautiful young girls and women gave him their information, and he dutifully passed it along. But sometimes, he wished to keep one for himself. Just once, he wanted to invite a pretty girl to a party and actually be the one to show up at the door. Finally, at 25, he decided he couldn't wait any longer. In a few more years, he would be moved to grooming, and it would become even more difficult to begin a real relationship. He was tired of returning to an empty apartment instead of a loving family, so he made arrangements to spend 1 year in southern Florida, hence the reason we find ourselves here.
Yes, I can see this choice of venue has you somewhat confused. He was also surprised upon arriving. Truth be told, he would have preferred a large city with a denser population, but he's making the best of it. You see, his primary knowledge of American culture comes from his obsession for mere Netflix and HBO programs. He failed to understand how different one region may be from another. Ironic, considering how well-traveled he is. When he chose Florida, it was based on an aversion to snow and the desire to be near a beach. The alligators simply turned out to be a fortunate coincidence, but I shouldn't skip ahead. Okay, so Roman arrived in the United States just after Christmas of 23, and if all goes according to plan, he hopes to spend Christmas of 24 with his fiance's family before returning home with her shortly after. Make no mistake, he has daydreamed about these details extensively. His first week focused on getting settled into the new home and learning the area, but then he became consumed by the search for Mrs. Wright. He wants her to be a natural beauty who doesn't wear too much makeup, someone kind and intelligent who shares his interests. He wants to take her on long walks on the beach and have romantic, candlelit dinners just like the couples in all of his favorite movies. Carrie. Roman met Carrie at a New Year's Eve gathering on the beach, and they instantly hit it off. At midnight, they shared a kiss and exchanged numbers before parting. For the next 3 days, they texted often. Met for coffee, saw a movie, and went for multiple moonlit walks. Roman fell hard and fast for this girl who adored cheesy rom-coms, sci-fi books, and nature. He considered her to be the one, and it will not be easy to convince him otherwise. Today, they took advantage of the cool weather at a nearby park where they'd been hiking all morning, but they should be back at any... Oh, shh. Do you hear that? Ah, perfect timing, as usual. Well, let's see how the lovebirds are doing, shall we?
The last door on the left.
Roman drops his keys on the small table by the door and flashes his brightest grin.
Great, I'll just be a second.
Carrie returns his smile and bashfully tucks a strand of long blonde hair behind her ears as she makes her way to the restroom. Upon hearing the soft click of the closing door, Roman stands before a nearby mirror and runs a comb through his thick hair. Once it meets his satisfaction, he checks his teeth, freshens his cologne, straightens his clothes, and gives himself a little pep talk upon finishing his inspection.
All right, it's just like back home, except now we get to keep her. All we gotta do is seal the deal. You got this.
Now, fully pumped, he gives himself a quick slap to the face, spins back to the hallway, and freezes at the sight of Carrie, standing just outside the bathroom door, staring at him with a disconcerted look. His own expression immediately falls to a similar state with the realization that she has overheard his careless words, and his mind instantly purges itself of all knowledge. He wants to speak, but there is quite literally nothing he can say. Meanwhile, Carrie is waiting for him to laugh or crack a joke, anything to indicate he isn't another entitled asshole who manipulates women into bed as a sport. But there's only an awkward silence. So, finally, she breaks it.
What exactly is it that you do back home? And what deal do you think you're sealing?
Oh, that? No, it's not like that at all. I come from a very large family, and my cousins, they are always forcing me to play wingman. Never do they let me talk to a woman just for me. But now, they're not here.
During his plea, Carrie's face begins to soften, and a small portion of Roman's panic recedes.
Uh-huh. And what deal is it that you think you're sealing again?
Her response is almost playful, but a hint of caution remains as she proceeds into the den.
Another date. That's all. I just really like you, Carrie, and I was hoping for another day.
Seeing the smile spread across her face, he cannot help but add,
I'm sorry if you were hoping to spend the night, but I'm just not that kind of young man.
Blushing brightly, Carrie quickly conceals her face by turning to feign interest in a nearby bookshelf. Now, with the close call successfully averted, there is just enough time to choose a movie before the pizza arrives. Yes, all seems to be going quite well, doesn't it? And you wouldn't think it would be possible to botch a movie and a pizza date, would you? Well, just you wait.
So, you said you like to travel. Have you been to other countries?
Roman asks, grabbing another slice of pepperoni.
Yeah, I went to England and France 2 years ago, Canada in 2018, and Mexico in 2016. London was definitely the best, though. What about you? I mean, besides here and where you're raised, surely a man who speaks that many languages must be well-traveled.
Well, I haven't been to as many as you think. Not Canada, for example. But I've been to the others you named, along with Russia, Jamaica, Egypt.
Roman stopped short, not wanting the wrong places to encourage the wrong questions too early.
I say that qualifies as well-traveled for sure. Which was your favorite?
Probably Egypt. I didn't get to stay as long as I would have liked, but the pyramids were amazing. I would love to show them to you one day. Oh, maybe we could live there for a while. Have a few kids there.
I would love to live in any of those places. Not thanks to the kids, though.
This innocent statement cuts Roman like a blade.
Yeah, you mean you don't want kids yet, right? You do want them eventually, yes?
He tries to match Carrie's light, easy tone, but the underlying fear is impossible to miss.
No. I mean, I've always known I never want children. I'm sorry if you're looking for something more serious, but I'm nowhere close to settling down.
Hoping to avoid conflict, she softens her tone and expression despite her increasing annoyance.
What do you mean you don't want kids? You're a woman. How can you not want kids?
Excuse me? You want to try that again?
I'm sorry. I should have controlled myself better. You can't help how you feel. Besides, you're young. You'll change your mind in a couple of years and we'll be laughing about this. It's fine.
Okay, wow. There are so many things wrong with that. You know what? We should call it a day. Thank you for the pizza. I hope you have better luck with the next breeder.
As Carrie rises, Roman grabs her wrist.
Wait, where are you going? You can't just leave.
Jerking her arm away, Carrie hurries to put some space between them.
I most certainly can. Who the hell do you think you are?
Me? You're the one being selfish, using kids to hold our entire future hostage. Who does that?
Roman advances, and Carrie matches his every step in retreat until the door is only a few feet away.
Oh, you're that kind of guy. Yeah, I'm getting out of here. You should do the next girl a favor and update your profile to include "have my babies or else." It'll save a lot of time.
With her possessions gathered, she turns to open the door, but a large hand reaches over her to slam it shut.
What the fuck is wrong with—
Spinning her around, Roman slaps her across the face and furiously shakes her by the shoulders.
Why are you making me do this? It didn't have to be this way. Why? Why wouldn't you just have a conversation?
Carrie's father cautioned her about guys like this. His warnings echoed in her mind as she is painfully thrown to the ground. Normally, she would never go to a man's home so early in the relationship, but it was the middle of the day. She had her car, and Roman never exhibited a single red flag until he did. Now a menacing figure looms over her, yelling, face red and contorted with rage, spit flying from his mouth, but it's not his face she sees. This is no longer the same guy who recited poetry as they walked along the beach. He is not the one who cried during the Notebook. This man is a monster.
Please, no. Why are you doing this? Dude, we barely know each other.
Enraged by her words, Roman's hand flies through the air, making contact with Carrie's face, and she is knocked violently back to the floor once again. At the same instant, Roman too stumbles and cradles his head. What began as a throbbing headache has now blossomed into a full-blown migraine, and it is all he can do to remain upright.
I need to think. Just let me think.
I will move. I swear.
He may be facing Carrie's direction, but he doesn't see her. He only sees red. Without another word, he walks back to the coffee table and removes a sack of weed from a hidden drawer. After taking several deep hits, he returns to the frightened girl huddling in the corner and holds the pipe out in offering. Too frightened to refuse, she takes a few hits without inhaling and passes it back with a feeble smile. Roman kneels before her, his expression now full of concern, and it's all Carrie can do to not cringe beneath his touch, lest she incite a new rage.
I'm so sorry, my love. I don't know what came over me. I swear nothing like that will ever happen again. I swear. And one day when we do have kids, we'll share the story with them and all laugh together. You'll see.
With a playful wink, he rises, taking Carrie's hand and helping her up with a charming smile. The ease and efficiency with which Roman transitions from raging psychopath to hopeless romantic is what frightens her the most. Ignoring the flood of adrenaline that insists she takes action, Carrie only smiles and allows herself to be led to a nearby chair.
Here, have a seat, and I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go get the first aid.
He's moving fast, and Carrie must now make a split decision. He will only be gone for a moment, but it may be her only chance. If she plays along, will he let her leave at the end? How far would she have to go to reach that point? Her keys were dropped in the struggle, but she sees them only a few feet away, along with her purse. Yet she also must wonder,
What if I'm caught?
all of these scenarios and many more fly through her mind before Roman even makes it to the hallway, and ultimately, she decides to wait for a safer opportunity. Her body, however, settled on a different course of action. The moment he steps out of sight, she slips off her noisy shoes before silently collecting her possessions. At the front door, the knob turns easily in her hand, and she pulls it open gently, wincing as a soft creak threatens her escape. But it is only after seeing her car that she understands the futility of her efforts.
Side note. When we first arrived, you may have noticed a particularly large tree hanging over the driveway. Yes? Okay. The one just before the carport. Well, due to the many birds that inhabit it, Roman allowed Carrie to pull beneath the structure while he parked behind her. What began as a gentlemanly gesture has now ultimately served to seal her fate. Yes, I'm afraid so, my friend. And not only is she blocked in, she has failed to realize her phone slid beneath the table. See it just there? Oh dear, here comes Roman.
Carrie? Carrie!
And there he goes, out of the open door. Dropping the first aid kit was unnecessary, though hardly his greatest offense. Roman's perceptions of love were misguided to say the least, but we cannot intervene in events that have already transpired, no matter how badly we may wish to do so. We are simply observers, here to record and preserve that which would otherwise be lost. Oh my, she's locking herself in the car. The poor thing is desperate. It is a shame we can't assist her. Though perhaps we should move to the window after all. Come on, we'll get the best view in the next room.
But why are you trying to leave? We just made up.
Roman whines as he circles the car and tries every door without success. Meanwhile, Carrie is emptying her purse and pockets into the passenger seat, sobbing quietly.
No, please, please. Where's my phone?
Stopping at the driver's door, Roman jerks at the handle as if it will suddenly open.
What's your problem? I said I was sorry. You're ruining everything.
Genuinely baffled by her reaction, he fails to understand how her feelings could differ from his own. Nevertheless, he must accept that they do, and he is finally ready to throw in the towel.
I'm not sure how to say this, but I don't think it's going to work out between us. I don't want you to think this is easy, because it's not. I really love you.
Carrie is no longer surprised by his delusions. Her only concern is escape.
I understand. I'm sorry I wasted your time, but if you could just move your car, I'll get out of here, and you'll never have to see me again.
She tries to steady herself, but it's even more difficult with her assailant mere inches away, separated only by a window that now seems extremely fragile.
You're too upset to drive. I could never live with myself if you left like this and didn't make it home. Let me drive, and I'll Uber home.
Please, just let me go, Matt. I swear I won't go to the police. I won't tell a soul. Just please let me go.
His smile disappears at her suggestion, but his tone remains the same. She is so desperate that she genuinely believes her own statement. At this moment, she doesn't care about dignity, revenge, or justice, only her life. For several tense seconds, he stares at her in silence. His expression is one of disgust and hatred.
Police? Why would she call the police?
He does not understand the crime he has committed. He sees his actions as entirely reasonable, though the larger problem rests within his mind, perhaps his very soul. You also must remember the circumstances of his upbringing. In the family, children are raised to be wary of partners who may only be interested in wealth or power. This is another reason many travel abroad when seeking spouses. It is easier to conceal those parts of their lives until deeper connections are formed. Roman simply had a unique definition of deep connection. He does not understand the difference between dating someone for a week, a month, or a year, nor does he retain his full memories after a rage. Were he to see a video of his interactions with Carrie, he would be quite surprised by his actions. But now, he is left to wonder.
Did I grow careless? Is she threatening to extort me?
His mother warned him about women who would use any means necessary to keep a man, and the depths to which their spite would sink if they couldn't. His world used to be filled with warmth, hope, and joy, but now it is a cold, harsh, desolate place. Heartbroken, he used a pocket knife to slash Carrie's tires before stepping away, though not out of sight, to make a call.
Da.
A deep voice on the other end is just loud enough to be heard.
Bogdan, I need your help, cousin. It's... it's business.
What do you mean, business? You are on vacation, no?
I came to buy a new car. You know how I love the American models, but the one I brought home was, faulty.
Faulty? So what? Just return it and get another one. You should be test driving many cars before buying one anyway. You still have much to learn, little cousin.
No, I can't take it back. I mean, that wouldn't be ideal. It got kind of, well, dangerous.
Da, I see. This is something that happens. As long as you listen to me and remain calm, everything will be fine. Does the car still run? Or is it totaled?
No, I mean, yes, I mean, it still runs, but I'm not sure what to do next.
Good. This is very good, Roman. Send me your location. Someone will pick up the car, and we will repair the damage and simply resale it. Problem solved.
That's wonderful news. I knew I could count on you. And bring 4 new tires, please.
You need 4 tires? I don't follow.
No, Bogdan. Literal tires. 4 of them, please.
Damn it, boy. Da, fine. But Roman, you keep all those cars put away. Sonia and her boys can't get there until tomorrow afternoon.
Absolutely. And thank you, cousin. Thank you.
Roman passes by Carrie's car without so much as a glance. Now that she has, in his eyes, threatened him, this can end no other way. The family must always come first. He returns only after retrieving a crowbar from his own vehicle, and he offers a choice.
Do you want to open the door? Or do you want me to?
I believe in this classic example of what your kind refers to as damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario, is it not? The poor dear doesn't know what to do, and Roman is already growing impatient.
The problem is that I'm worried if I open it, the glass might cut your pretty face. And neither of us want that.
Carrie looks to the crowbar, and fresh tears stream down her face as she slowly pulls the door handle as it opens. She braces herself, expecting to be ripped from her seat, but Roman only places a hand on the door to hold it ajar.
See? That wasn't so hard, was it?
He offers his hand with a smile, but it goes ignored.
Please.
Carrie begins, but falls silent at the touch of a hand on her shoulder, and she is guided back to the house. Without the ability to overpower or outrun her captor, there is no chance of escape, yet she aware that going inside will likely seal her fate. Even so, she can't help but wonder.
Maybe I can survive long enough to find my phone.
Then her world is plunged into blackness as Roman strikes her with the crowbar immediately upon closing the door.
It hurts me so much to do that, but it will be safer for both of us if you sleep through the next part.
He is consumed with regret as he gently cradles Carrie into his arms and makes his way towards the basement.
I've never even done this before. I usually just get information and pass it along, but I've heard enough stories to know it's better if you don't struggle while I get you restrained. You wouldn't believe how many girls try to fight their way out of this part, but they just end up hurting themselves instead. It's really sad. 1 second.
The creaking door opens to reveal a splintered wooden staircase descending into darkness. Upon pulling the rusted chain dangling before him, a small dim bulb flickers to life down below. With the bottom of the stairs now visible and a quick readjustment to his bundle, Roman takes the first step of their descent, followed by the second and the third, until the fourth brings a long, ominous creak as it feels as if the wood will snap beneath their weight. And to make matters even more treacherous, Carrie is regaining her consciousness.
Oh, shit. I thought it would last longer. Hang on.
Roman struggles to keep his balance as she begins to squirm.
What's... Oh my god.
Though groggy and confused, the terrified young woman quickly begins fighting in earnest.
No, wait. You don't understand. You're gonna...
Unable to maintain his grip, Carrie tumbles down several additional steps to the cement floor below, her head absorbing the impact with a sickening crack.
Oh, no. What did you do? This is where you're supposed to throw them over your shoulder.
Roman is in a state of total disbelief as he forces himself to proceed. Carrie's left leg is bent at a disturbing angle, and a still-growing pool of crimson spreads from her head, past her shoulders. Even more alarming is her wide, glassy stare, and the large bulge protruding from her neck. She's dead.
Fuck. What did you do? Why? Why did you do that? I was just gonna handcuff you to the workbench until my cousin could pick you up. They were gonna take you away from here, not kill you.
Roman's knees suddenly feel weak, and he drops onto the bottom step with a frustrated grunt.
Here we go again. If I had $1 for every time I've watched a grown man cry over a corpse he created, come on, friend. We don't need to stay for this. He's not going anywhere, and it would be best if we skipped ahead. Let's see. Oh, shit. Okay. This is embarrassing. It's Friday night. Several days have passed. My apologies. It seems he went straight into the next relationship. But don't worry. We have a long way to go yet. This was but a short intermission, and I can catch you up in no time.
When Roman finally stopped sobbing, he began to cover his tracks. He first addressed the body. In that regard, he is actually quite lucky to have landed in Florida. He ultimately wrapped Carrie in a tarp and transported her into a swamp behind his property. YouTube taught him to slap his foot on the water's surface to attract alligators, and they handled the rest. A pretty sight it was not. Upon returning home, he began cleaning and was still cleaning when his cousins arrived. To say they were disappointed would have been an understatement. They came prepared to receive a new product, not to conceal a murder. Had they known, different people would have been seen with different equipment, but alas, the family never abandons their own. Carrie's car was taken to one of their chop shops in Alabama, where they ensured it was never seen again. Sonia wore a wig and drove it so traffic cams would show a woman of the same description. She also created a digital trail by taking Carrie's phone and responding to several texts along the way. The police are still uncovering the false evidence, but they firmly believe this is a case of an adult leaving under their own volition. Even so, Roman burned his clothes, along with the rest of her items, and replaced his phone. He didn't want any negative energy from this experience to taint his next relationship, which began on Bumble. Sky. This app requires women to initiate first contact, and he enjoyed the idea of letting his future wife choose him. In less than 24 hours, he was speaking with Sky, and again, he fell hard and fast. In their first conversation, he established that she is in her junior year of college, possesses deeply traditional values, dreams of a big wedding in another country, and wants to become a full-time mother with lots of children. They met in person the next day and have barely parted company since, which brings us to the present. Ah, here they are now. Time for round 2. Admittedly, I am far from an expert when it comes to romance, but this certainly can't be a healthy way to start things.
Oh my god, you are like too funny. I can't get over it.
Sky's flirty tone and intoxicated giggles made her sound like a teenager as she stumbles through the door.
Well, I can't get over how cute you are.
Roman's tone is equally cringe as he follows her to the kitchen to open a bottle of wine.
Let's take these to the other room and pick up where we left off. Valentine's plans.
Taking his free hand, Sky playfully leads him to the couch.
Hey, what about an Arctic cruise beneath the northern lights?
Roman turns his phone to reveal a beautiful photo collage.
Oh, no, babe. But we can't do that. We have to go somewhere hot and spicy. Like us. It's such bad luck to spend our first getaway all cold and frigid.
Really? Wow, I had no idea. It's a good thing you know about this kind of stuff. So, what kind of place are you looking at?
Well, I was thinking Cancun or the Bahamas. But now that you brought up the cruise, I'm betting we can do both. Ooh, have you been to either? Oh my god, I wonder if they do the thing where we can, swim with dolphins.
What a great idea. I've been to both, and I guarantee you'll love them.
I know, friend, I know. There's nothing more exhausting than young, drunk infatuation, but trust me, we're skipping to the worst of it. Let's see. Only a few more seconds until they move on to the real issues. Yeah. Okay, here we are.
Well, since their father is going to be an honorable judge one day, I think we could easily take the kids to a different country every summer. Don't you?
Wait, what? Why do you think I'm gonna be a judge?
Oh, you know what I mean, silly. Maybe you'll be a doctor or, a politician. That's the one you should do. But so long as it's something with like lots of money, power, and respect, that's all that matters. Well, besides it being legal, of course. Ain't nobody come to take my man or money.
And what if it wasn't legal?
Well then, I would just have to turn you in myself so everyone knows I wasn't in on it.
You would do that? Even if the cops were in on it too?
You bet. Most of the bad guys have cops in their pockets, and the good guys always go over their heads anyway. Doing something shady to get taken away is the same thing as like actually abandoning your family. So, if not a judge, what? Oh, you could be like an artist or a writer. How bitchin' would that be?
Okay. So if I was doing something illegal, you would put me in prison. Give up the lifestyle you always dreamed of because one day something might happen. How can you be so ungrateful?
Okay, hold on. Let me really think. I guess it depends. Like, if we're married with kids, when I learn about, even if we pretend you'd never get caught, well, what would it be though? Like, are you dealing drugs? If you don't sell to kids, we might have some wiggle room. But if people are dying, yeah, ain't no murderer raising my babies.
Wow. You think you know someone? Okay, help me understand. How does learning what I do for a living justify betraying our family? You wouldn't report a slaughterhouse for animal cruelty. Why would you destroy everything over a few dead chickens? I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Roman stands and sits down again in one fluid motion, massaging the bridge of his nose between his thumb and index finger. Sky is stunned and frightened by his reaction.
Wait, you're serious, aren't you? What the hell is your problem? It's just a game.
What's my problem? You threatened me. You can't just say shit like that and then pass it off as a game.
Threatened you? I'm so sorry that I, took an interest in your life. You know, the one we were gonna share? Not anymore, though. I'm not marrying some caveman who loses his shit over a joke.
So now it's a joke. You're saying you wouldn't turn me, the father of your children, into the police.
Roman rises again, and this time he begins pacing.
What are you talking about? Like, have you seriously never played What If? You're acting like you're actually some kind of criminal. It's ridiculous. You're educated, you come from a wealthy family, yet you're living in the middle of nowhere, and you never drive a single mile over the speed limit, or use social media.
The idea that someone she knows, let alone loves, might be involved with illegal activities is unthinkable. Gangsters, criminals, murderers, these things exist on Law and Order, not in real life.
You're not answering the question.
He comes to a stop before Sky and hovers above her like a black cloud.
Wait, stop. I don't want to do this anymore. You're scaring me.
She quickly retreats to the opposite side of the room, but Roman follows closely behind.
Would you go to the police or not?
No.
I don't believe you.
Roman lunges forward, grabbing Sky from behind as she attempts to flee and throwing her to the ground with a loud thud.
I swear I wouldn't. I won't. Please, let me leave. I just want to go home.
She tries to rise on shaking limbs, but is immediately pushed back to the floor.
Please, why are you doing this?
Why am I doing this? Me? You think this was my doing? I loved you. I loved you more than anything in this world. I would have done anything, given you anything. But this is what you think of me? What? You're gonna wait for the wedding and turn me in on the honeymoon? You're all the same.
But if that was my plan, why would I tell you? It doesn't make sense. Please, I was just trying to be funny. And I still don't know anything. Even if I went to the police, what could I say? How could I prove anything? I can't, and I don't want to.
Play the victim all you want. Do you understand the knife you put into my heart? Do you know what it is to suddenly have the most important part of your life mercilessly ripped away?
Roman paces circles around Sky, his fists clenching and unclenching.
But that was never my intention. I love you. I still love you. It doesn't have to be this way. We were like so happy just 5 minutes ago. Why can't we just go back to that?
Why? You know why. Oh, stop pretending. You really think I could trust you again after you threatened me, threatened my family?
He crouches next to her and delicately tucks a loose strand of hair behind her ear before caressing her cheek. She leans into his touch, her survival instincts taking over. If given the chance, there is nothing she won't do to escape. But sadly, it is already too late. She simply doesn't know it yet. Taking her hand, Roman gently pulls her upright.
Come on.
Sky obediently follows him through the kitchen and to the basement door. As the door creaks open, the rotting staircase is revealed. She can't help but stop short.
Hey, where are we going?
I want to show you something.
Again, the bare bulb's soft glow is just enough to illuminate the gloomy interior, and Roman attempts to step aside, but Sky's feet are firmly planted. His grip tightens just enough to remind her who's in charge, and she says a silent prayer as they descend together. At the bottom is a workbench, toolboxes, old electronics, and metal shelves lined with totes, but Roman only has eyes for the workbench. It is not until they are nearly on top of it that Sky notices the dangling handcuffs and tries to pull away. Unfortunately, the grip on her hand tightens even further, and she quickly is secured with minimal effort.
You can't do this! You'll never get away with it! There's like too much evidence and junk! We're on camera together all over town!
Sitting next to her, Roman places his arm around her shoulder and pulls her in close. What he intends as a comforting gesture.
Shh, easy now. Come on. Hey, everything's gonna be all right. You'll see. Shh, it's okay. It's okay. There. Now, that's better, isn't it?
With a kiss to Sky's forehead, Roman rises to make his way back to the stairs.
What are you gonna do with me?
Nothing. I put you here for your protection, to make sure you didn't hurt yourself. Look what you already made me do. You can't end up like Carrie. I can't go through that again.
Who's Carrie?
How do you know about Carrie?
You just said her name.
I'm not falling for whatever mind games you're trying to play. I need to calm down. I'm going to get some air and make a phone call. When I'm finished, I'll bring back a pillow and a blanket.
Wait! Please don't leave me down here! You know I'm scared of the dark!
But there's no response as he walks outside and takes several deep breaths. He's heartbroken, embarrassed, and frightened. No matter how hard he tries, his relationships just keep failing, and now he must place yet another call to Bogdan.
Da.
Bogdan, I need your help once more, cousin.
Totaled another car, did you?
It's not totaled.
Oh? So you got it stored away properly this time?
Yes, it has been placed in storage.
Very good, little cousin. We will need to be careful with this one. You know what it will mean if you are connected with two accidents. If anything goes wrong.
I know. But she isn't who she says she is. She knows about our family. She threatened us. I had no choice, cousin.
Language, little cousin. And why would you not say this first?
But I just...
No, do not say another word. You've already said too much. Hang up and send me the car's information now. And Roman, Sonia will want to inspect it personally. Be certain it is in a condition to do so.
Well, that certainly wasn't good for Roman's mood, now was it? Especially since he's about to walk inside to find Sky has escaped. She's a very slim, very motivated young lady, after all. Ah, yes, the pressure is on, my friend. Once free, she has the front door or the back. Had she chosen the back door and fled to the forest? Who knows? But she decides to look for her phone and keys, not realizing they've already been confiscated.
Though only a few seconds are wasted, it is enough, and Roman enters the front door just as the back door clicks shut. Springing into action, he races to retrieve his .40 Smith & Wesson before giving chase. Once outside, his eyes are immediately drawn to movement as Skye attempts to make it into the woods, but Roman spots her just a few yards from the tree line. Not wanting to lose her in the dense swampland, he fires a warning shot straight up into the air.
Stop! Don't make me shoot you! Come back here, now!
The deafening bang causes her to trip and sends her sprawling to the ground where she strikes her head on a large boulder. Roman rushes over, kneeling at her side, and immediately sees the crimson puddle pooling at the stone's base.
Skye, sweetheart.
He nudges her gently, then pulls her into his lap, and part of her scalp flaps loose in the process.
Oh God, baby. Why did you do this?
And with this sorrowful declaration, he lays his head against her still chest and sobs. At the same moment, the clouds above release a torrent of rain. A bright flash of lightning strikes over their heads with a loud crack, and the thunder rumbles across the skies like a sonic wave.
Ah, yes, I do love a good storm. Especially when enjoyed from the safety of a nice warm house. Wouldn't you agree, my friend? Yeah, if only Roman could stop and enjoy its beauty, he would realize the girl is merely unconscious, but sadly, he's in a hurry. Yep, there he goes, off to fetch the wheelbarrow. He's wasting his time, though.
The ground proves too soft to push it through the swampy wetlands, and he is forced to carry Skye over his shoulder, blood dripping all the way. But again, he walks several feet into murky waters and splashes his foot atop the surface. Soon enough, multiple shining eyes appear in the darkness, and he throws his limp bundle to them like a sack of feed. She lands mere inches before one snout, and just as it's about to pounce, she regains consciousness.
Fuck you!
She had just enough time to glimpse Roman standing slack-jawed on the riverbank before being ripped violently beneath the surface. Roman immediately realizes his mistake, but he can only watch helplessly as the water turns red before his eyes. He returns home in a daze, unable to process the latest tragedy. It takes the sound of a new message to bring him back to reality, and then true dread sets in as he sees its source. Bogdan is still waiting for Skye's information.
This may mark a good place to skip ahead. I've already taken so much of your time, and there's still so much to see. Clearly, the family's quite upset, but don't forget, Roman is one of their golden boys. In their eyes, he's a lovable little scamp causing mischief in his youthful plight for love, not a budding serial killer. Sonia and her boys do their very best, but it is only a temporary solution. Eventually, Skye's disappearance will be reported, and the name Roman Garcia will once again appear in the investigation. Regardless of what other evidence is discovered, the authorities cannot ignore such an anomaly. To prevent an unnecessary run-in with law enforcement, he is instructed to flee from the UK. And then he meets Harper Krill the very next evening.
Harper. In the process of erasing his Bumble profile, Roman discovers a message from a beautiful 24-year-old hairstylist with traditional values who wants to see the world and raise a big family. He absolutely cannot resist, especially since he calculates a minimum of 2 weeks before anyone realizes Skye is missing. She never spoke on the phone or FaceTime, only in messages, and she posted her entire life online. Even an amateur could imitate her with ease. Roman's reply is answered in minutes, and they exchange numbers within a few more. Harper is radiant, charismatic, and intelligent beyond her years, despite growing up in extremely poor conditions. A real family is all she ever wanted. After their first date, they spend all night talking about their pasts and future, so that when the sun rises, they are left but with a single conclusion. They are soulmates, and Roman tells her everything. What's that? You want to know if soulmates actually exists? Heavens no, but the chemical reaction taking place in your brain is strong enough that many feel compelled to credit the experience with an equally meaningful explanation. Love, specifically new love, is often euphoric. Many compare it to a drug, but to say this special bond is nothing more than a chemical reaction, well, that's no fun, is it? In the wrong hands, it's also an extremely effective tool for manipulation. But that's not what Roman is doing here. He firmly believes that he has found his soulmate. Most women would panic to hear a new boyfriend calmly discussing the accidental murders of 2 previous girlfriends as pillow talk, but Harper isn't most women. She doesn't even flinch. The next 2 weeks pass in a blur for the young couple as they prepare their move to the UK.
This includes eloping and diving into conception research. Alcohol and recreational drugs are replaced with vitamins and tonics. They've waited their entire lives to find one another, and they refuse to waste another second. This brings us to the present. Today is not only Valentine's Day, but the couple's final day in Saffron. We rejoin them just after learning that Sky has officially been reported missing.
Don't worry, everything is all worked out. We won't have any problems. The police will be chasing false leads for a couple days before they turn the investigation back to Saffron. By then, we'll be enjoying our honeymoon on the other side of the world.
I know, babe, and I totally trust you. But I don't know. I'm just not used to good things happening. I would die if someone took you away from me. Do you think maybe we could spend the day here?
Your wish is my command. We can order steak and lobster, light some candles, watch our favorite movie, and just be together. When we arrive in London, away from these mutant insects, we'll lay beneath the stars, and I'll teach you all the constellations.
I can't believe how lucky I am. You know what I want to do more than anything right now?
What's that?
Roman raises his eyebrows and begins unbuttoning his shirt, but Harper takes his hand and gazes deeply into his eyes.
Talk about our future again.
Ooh, my favorite. We never chose a name for our first daughter.
We'll do that next. But first, I want to hear more about your role in the family business. You said it was your job to flirt with girls and get their info, right?
Yes, ma'am. Most of them never even realize I'm involved.
Yes, and that's great. But didn't you also say you were getting a promotion in a few more years? What will you be doing? Supervising?
Well, technically it's called grooming, but it's really just an extension of what I'm already doing. It'll be more hours, maybe the occasional overnighter, but the pay will be much better, and we'll travel all over the world.
So you'll be spending more time with the girls you finesse. And those relationships tend to go how far exactly?
Wait, you aren't jealous, are you? Oh, babe. It's like a dog envying the livestock. Or if I were a doctor, you wouldn't be jealous of my patients, would you? Of course not.
No. Obviously, that would be ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as the fact that we never had time to get any Valentine's gifts. I wanted to give you something that would be useful at work. But, yeah, that's a tough one to shop for.
Hey, you're right. We can't skip out on our first Valentine's. That's gotta be bad luck.
Totally. That's just what I was thinking. But I mean, we should only go if you're sure it's safe.
No doubts whatsoever. Trust me, babe, this is what we do. We can be back here in 2 hours. Then we can order a nice lunch and do anything you want for the rest of the day. Come on, I know just what I want to get you.
Okay, fine. I guess I do have a cute idea. But just 2 hours, no longer. Promise?
Cross my heart. We can start the timer now.
I know what you're thinking. Carrie or Sky would have killed for this opportunity, yes, but don't forget, Harper isn't like other women. She married Roman knowing exactly who he is. She has accepted a life of major crime in exchange for status and privilege. It is only the thought of sharing him that has given her pause. That's right, I'm saying that she fully plans to return. Never underestimate what one will do for money and power. Perhaps this would be a good time to regale you with a tale from Harper's past. It may help you understand who she is at her core. Yes, she routinely helps her father commit armed robbery, and those exploits have ended with her digging a grave more than once, but no one forced her hand. When she became pregnant at 15, she kept her condition a secret, even from the child's father. Having been on the smaller side and largely ignored by her own parents, she was able to hide most of her weight gain with baggy clothes. Only during the final month was it necessary to remain home under the guise of having the flu. Against all odds, she eventually gave birth to a malnutritioned but otherwise healthy baby girl on the bathroom floor. Her first instinct was to abandon it under safe haven law, but then she remembered that infants could be sold on the dark web. It took no time to find a site. She quickly identified the highest paying buyers. Their profile read as an infertile, middle-aged couple, though there were a few red flags.
Not only were there no pictures, the husband's name changed from Ned to Ted halfway through the bio, and English clearly wasn't the Smiths' first language. But Harper chose to overlook these details, and a deal was made that very same day. She told Roman all of this, and he understood. Just like she understood that he never meant to harm Carrie or Sky. So, you see, when it comes to money, Harper has no trouble going to extremes. In fact, I think she's going to surprise us. Ah, back already. My, how time flies when you're a fly.
Yeah, babe, I just walked in. Are you far behind?
I'm 20 minutes out. Do you want to go ahead and order some food? You can get me whatever you're having.
You got it. Just make sure you get back here safe.
After they eat, it's time to exchange gifts. Roman spent enough to confirm Harper's dedication is not in vain, and to watch them now, one would never know that tragedy lay only a phone call away. It happens just after nightfall, when a car is loaded and the newlyweds are minutes away from departing.
Yeah.
Listen carefully. Drop what you are doing and get to the airport right away. A search warrant has been requested for your address.
But how?
There will be time for that when you call me from the plane. Right. Oh, you must remember our protocols and stay calm.
Hey, babe, I need you to do me a favor and pick up your purse right there, but nothing else. And walk straight to the car. We're leaving a little early. And maybe move a little faster. Please? Thank you. Thank you. Nope. Hold any questions for the car. Yep. Thank you.
Harper obediently followed his instructions without further comment as they hurry outside, but her expression is one of fear and concern. Her entire future depends upon the outcome of this night, and she dares not think what failure would entail. I'm afraid we must hurry too, my friend. If you wish to see the final scene unfold, we must make haste. During the drive, the tense silence continues as they turn onto a back road mere seconds before the first police cruiser passes. Their eyes follow it in the mirror until the taillights vanish around the bend, and they feel certain it will not return.
What the hell? You said we had days.
Something happened. I have to call Bogdan from the plane. You can listen on speaker. The jet is under a clean alias, so we should be fine now. But I'll feel better once we're in the air.
Me too. Me too.
Except they are not fine. Though all seems normal upon entering the airport, a half-dozen squad cars suddenly appear in the rearview mirror, transforming the Black Knight into a red and blue disco rave as Roman races to their hangar.
This is impossible. They shouldn't know about the flight. Okay, listen. They can't shoot us in the back, so you're going to run straight inside. No matter what you hear, don't turn around. I just need you to get in and buckle up. No matter what, the pilot will take off before the police can board.
I can't. We have to go together.
You have to. I'm right behind you. Go.
Roman slides a fresh mag into his gun, and, with a parting kiss, Harper rushes towards the jet, only turning back once she is safely inside. From the door, she sees Roman shooting towards the police, forcing them to take cover behind their vehicles. The officers return fire, and bullets are flying in every direction, but she is mere seconds from bounding up the steps himself when Harper draws her own weapon. The two share a brief moment of eye contact as Roman recognizes the object in her hand, and his eyes widen in confusion. Before he can even process its meaning, she fires a round into his chest and sends him flying onto his back. She then closes the door as he lay dying, and the jet begins to take off as dozens of police rush forward. At 9:42 p.m., paramedics announce Roman's time of death, and since he was shot with a police-issued service weapon, it will forever be assumed that he was killed during a shootout he started. Airports across the country are alerted of a rogue jet, but it lands safely at a private airport in Nevada. From here, Harper is given a new identity and put on another plane. By now, she is settling into a new home, and her new family is none the wiser to what truly took place. They are simply grateful their daughter-in-law survived. I'm sorry, friend. You seem confused. Allow me to explain. Believe it or not, Harper didn't sour until learning about Roman's future as a groomer. She could turn a blind eye to many things, but she would not sit by while other women had their way with her man. Unfortunately for him, there was always someone a little harder, a little colder, and a lot crazier waiting to balance Karma's books. If it were anyone else, Harper would have simply robbed him and disappeared, but she had already set her heart on a certain kind of lifestyle. It's true that under normal circumstances, it would have been impossible to betray Roman without being discovered, but the situation with Sky's disappearance allowed for a unique opportunity. All Harper needed was an hour or two of privacy, and though she did buy the cologne, she also paid a special visit to her father. He was instructed to use an app that would disguise his caller ID as Sky's father, and that evening, he called in a tip to the police. They had hoped the authorities would finish the job for them, but just in case, Harper was able to secure the same kind of gun they would be firing. Sure, if anyone dug deep enough, her story would fall apart, but think of the perfect storm in place. An investigation was imminent before Roman met Harper. By all accounts, she had absolutely nothing to do with the circumstances surrounding his death, and the family had already accepted their new daughter-in-law. It surprised no one that he would die to protect her, and once they confirmed that she was indeed carrying his child, that support would multiply tenfold. Conclusion. Well, that does it for this chapter. Is there anywhere else you'd like to be dropped off, or can you get it home from here? Oh, of course. What am I thinking? Obviously, that would be inconvenient. Say no more. I would be honored to escort you home. It's the least I can do after you've been kind enough to keep me company. You want to know why I come to watch these scenes if I already know how they end? Oh, well, that's simple. Would you not visit the dinosaurs when they roamed? Would you not watch the ice caps melt and the continents divide? Would you not watch the apple fall on Newton's head or see Michelangelo paint the Sistine Chapel? Don't be silly. Of course you would. We live in a haunted universe, my friend. The smallest incidents often make the biggest impacts, but you would never know it by the look of them. This one in particular will make waves across the world. Roman and Harper's son will grow up to be a household name, like Ted Bundy or Pablo Escobar. The number of lives he will impact directly are too great to count, and the ripples will continue long after he leaves this world. Carrie and Sky's spirits now inhabit the house in which they have perished, and it will cause a string of renters to break their agreements, which will in turn prompt the owner to sell. Desperate to be rid of the property, he will conceal the double homicide from the new buyers. By this point, the home will become a portal for the undead, thanks to the several amateur seances. When the new buyers move in with their infant daughter, a dark entity will attach itself to her and begin a decades-long battle for the child's body that will ultimately end with her death at age 16. It will be deemed a suicide, but her parents, doctors, even the police will always know this to be a lie. Well, here we are, home sweet home, safe and sound. Perhaps we can do this again sometime. But until then, I hope you've enjoyed your time as a fly on the wall. Alright, so yeah, this was a really fun story to do. I love the way Paige Turner writes her stories because it's so narrative focused. I don't necessarily know if that's the word, but normally in Paige Turner stories, sometimes I'll play as the characters, but for the most part, I'm the storyteller, and the story is playing out in front of us. So it's really interesting to be able to do stories like that sometimes, especially because with her writing, she does a lot of audio cues within the writing when she sends me scripts, just kind of like what her vision is for how the audio would sound at certain parts. And it's really interesting to be able to work with people on that. Normally it's all up to me on how the sound design plays out. So it's always fun to get the author's perspective on, like if I'm talking to them, how would you want this to sound, like since it's your story. But yeah, I love Paige Turner's work. Pretty much everything she does is great. And she is finishing up, I think, the last part of the Backroads. And when that comes up, there will be one part that I haven't done and then the final part. So I'll be combining that into just one video with both parts as the finale, similar to what I did with the Hell's Invasions series, just my last video. But I'd love to know what you all think of this story and what you think of the ambience that I tried to set for it. And if you have any suggestions for stories you'd like to hear or themes, certain types of stories, feel free to leave a comment. And with that said, have a great weekend.